So one of the things we talked about is that it looks like Miami is not going to happen, but
Right.
there is a plan B, and we'll
Yeah.
see plan B. Now, this is all great because this is, the best laid plans. Obstacles always come up.
Well,
Challenges
and
always come up.
So the next plan is like there's an application that's due a little over a week.
Right on.
But the show would be in Chicago. It would be Expo in April, which makes a lot more sense. It resolves our shipping costs. It resolves housing costs. It resolves sales force. It resolves all of that. It shows to a sophisticated audience. And it actually, you're not going to get the amount of viewers, but it cuts out a lot of the people that want to see the celebrities and the party scene and all that shit. It's like people that are real, that are looking at work. So it's like, it seems like a better option, and it gives us more time. And so ultimately it's,
were you guys doing it because you thought it was going to be more eyeballs and that means it's going to be better? Do you have that thought in the back of your heads, either one of you?
Well, Miami.
Go ahead, D.
I mean, for the States, Miami is the play. It's the showcase. It's the place to be. I mean, we've lived in Chicago.
So that sounds like it's prestige.
It's part of it's prestige, but part of it is also, if you're looking for work, and you have one show to go to, from anywhere in the country, you're going to go to Miami.
Okay.
Joe and I have lived in Chicago, for most of our lives. I mean, Joe's lived in Chicago for his entire life. I jump around.
No, but only Miami.
Yeah,
so Miami was prestige, but it sounds like it's also because everyone's there, so the networking is really great.
It's where people go. But doing a show in Chicago is something that we've done a lot of. And the thing about being in Chicago is you fight that stigma of being the second city. We could do a show in New York and it still wouldn't have the same kind of pull. Miami is the place where people go if they're going to do that one show a year. But timing wise, it doesn't make the same amount of sense to try to rush it or try to make the work be not as effective for the kind of money that we're spending.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. So, that makes me think of, go ahead, Joe, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say the other side of that is, though, it's like there's not only one show that's happening during that time. There's like, there's 10 to 20 shows that are happening at that time. It's like going to hear a bunch of other people, but the reality is, it's like you might not even get good seats to see that artist because you went to another show prior. So it's like, oh, my goal is to see so-and-so. And then you're like, oh, well, there's no room except back here where I can see them on the monitor and hear their music live. Where I feel like this opportunity gives us a little bit more time, and it's more specific to the collectors. I think that the people that are coming in town for that will go to a couple other art events, but it'll be in pockets where this is the main thing. Where when we went to Miami, or our plans to go to Miami, we were probably in the top 10 things to do during that weekend. But after you get through the top 6, we were probably, let me rephrase it, we were probably in numbers 6 through 10. Okay, so after the top 5, you're mental mush anyways. You don't know what you're looking at. Too much processing. You're like, did you see that girl in the bikini? Like you're done with art.
Well, anybody who's really like, if you're going to be smart, like you're going to be smart about dominating a marketplace. I hate to say this, but the son of a gun did phenomenally well with it. But the cyborg that is known as Mark Zuckerberg started out with that Facebook after he stole it from the Winklevoss twins, right? He just wanted to get all of the colleges, because they started it on Harvard, the Facebook, right? We all know the story. We've seen the movie. Of course, it's been dramatized, but just started with Harvard, and then Harvard, they just spread out further and they got all of, Massachusetts. And then they went, okay, let's get all of New England. Okay, now we've done that. Now let's spread down and let's get the South or whatever there was. And that's not important, but you just slowly but surely get people interested in it. So, Chicago, the second city, big deal. It's still a major city.
Right.
And yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. In Miami, just you guys look less stressed out now, I'll tell you that. Granted,
Yeah,
Marta
absolutely.
just came back from Hawaii. But it's a less stressful thing, less expensive. You cut out a lot of your expenses. But anyway, so